Greetings, people. I've got an upload for you. The new currency, as I've discussed before, is energy. And they've never wanted us to know this. They've wanted us to just believe in finance and monetary value. But the higher your frequency and your currency being energy, you can attract with your energy rather than pursuing if you raise your vibration. So what I want to touch on is energetic vampires, and the reason for this is so that you can retain your energy so that you can manifest more. Now, to understand energy vampires, we must understand control dramas. And what that requires you to do is to work on your intuition, because your intuition is the key to understanding how to retain your energy and how to discern who and what to give your energy to, so that you can retain more for yourself and be selfish, which is a good thing because it's all about you, so that you can manifest more going forward. So learning to understand your intuition is key, and that will require you to be more discerning and trusting your intuition with people that you come across, whether family, friends, business, or what have you. Once your intuition is developed, a key part of discernment is understanding control dramas. Now, there are 4 control dramas. The first one is victim. So when you come across someone, a family member, that's always playing victim, they're indirectly controlling you by playing the victim and talking about why they're always, having problems, etc., etc. And they'll play that to draw you in and then use your energy. And then once you sort of pour into them and listen and pay attention, they fuck off and use that energy for themselves. Energy vampire. So the second control drama is like intimidation. So when someone starts intimidating you, they're indirectly taking your power, because it's making you smaller, taking your energy and making them bigger. So when someone's putting you down, and this can be kind of tricky because you've got passive aggressive intimidation, and you've got that sneaky kind of what do you call it, double language, like innuendo that people talk, and you've got to pick up on it, whether you're the butt of the joke and later on you're like, oh my god, they were fucking taking the piss out of me. So the third control drama, which is really key, is interrogation. So when you have a partner or a boss that constantly asks you questions, it locks you into having to respond. So they might say, Derek, where are you going? And then Derek has to answer, and then it'll be like, well, Derek, what time are you going to be home? And Derek then has to answer, and then they ask another question, well, who are you with? And it just goes on and on and on. They're not really interested in the answer, they're just interested in controlling you and taking your energy. So the fourth control drama is aloof. Now, when you're talking to someone, you're trying to explain something to someone, a lot of the times they're committed to misunderstanding you. They deliberately play like they don't understand, they don't get it. And you keep pouring more energy and more energy into helping them understand, but they're just like, I don't know, what the fuck is going on? I don't quite get it. What are you talking about? So they're controlling you and manipulating you through playing like they don't understand. So with your intuition, once you start to discern and lock in on people and how they're communicating with you and what control drama that they're playing on you, you can actually set boundaries and choose to step away and not enter into that exchange. And by doing this, you're holding on to your energy, you're loving yourself. Yeah, you may be being selfish, but that's a good thing because it's self-love. And you need to, it'll help you manage your time better, because instead of pouring in your time and energy into someone else and their drama, you're pouring it into yourself. And these are the games these tricky motherfuckers play, these vampires, you know, vampiric energies. And it's all connected with gaslighting, where they pretend like, oh, how are you today, you know, and they play like they're really happy, and that means that you're not. When you're not even in the game, you're just going about your business, but they come to you with this really happy demeanor, but they're just gaslighting you, because deep down they don't know who they are. They're actually just playing like they're happy, but they're not. And this is very common in the spiritual community, where they think they're all love and light, and they give you a big hug, and they hold on to you for an extra 5 seconds, and they go, and indirectly they're telling you, I'm happier than you because I'm more spiritual than you, and I've done more ayahuasca and more mushrooms than you, and they get really uptight because they're just gaslighting you. And so that's how they're stealing your energy. So the spiritual community, this is when I cover such things as fake love, and it's very common in the spiritual community because they haven't done the shadow work. And I talk a lot about shadow work, but the shadow work is actually just about owning your darkness, right? Because deep down we're all real mean motherfuckers, we really are. And until you can accept that about yourself and just like have that under control, you're really just living in fear, and you're afraid of it. So that means you keep drawing in those kinds of people that trigger that fear, and you're blocked, you're stuck, you can't move forward. So a lot of the people in the spiritual community, they play like they're love and light, but they haven't done their shadow work. And then someone like me comes in and confronts them with their shadow, and they throw their shit on me like I'm the bad guy. And I'm like, well, yeah, I can be the bad guy, but I'm happy with that because I've dealt with it, and I've got my little beast on a fucking leash. So what you want to do with your shadow work is you want to understand the darker parts of you, what upsets you about people, because it's not them, it's all you. And you have to face that part of yourself. You know, like my family, no disrespect, but they really have no idea who they are, and they're carrying a lot of karmic debt because they choose not to really face themselves and who they really are. And you can't communicate with people like that, because everything you're communicating with is just a false narrative. It's an egoic fucking perception of who they think they are, and they're putting that across like, this is who I am, and this is what I drive, and this is how it is, when it's not actually true. So this is where you get into the ego versus the heart, and the ego is the mind, and the heart is love. And once you get to that place of love, it requires strength and vulnerability. And if you can be vulnerable and accept who you are at face value, the good and the bad, it frees you up. And ultimately what that does is it allows you to understand where the other persons are coming from. It gives you compassion. And I understand this because I've been through it all, and now I can now understand and see where people are at and what they're feeling, because I've been there. And I'm like, you know what, I used to be that like angry little bastard, or confused, or like doubtful. I used to be all that, but I'm not now, because I've learned to go and deal with my anger and rage and all the things that I used to reject about myself. So yeah, that's quite a lot. What I really am trying to drive forward is just the importance of your intuition. Now, to move out of the matrix, it really does begin with intuition and learning about the control dramas of other people, and with your intuition allows you to separate. And the goal is to separate, because you need to understand who you are. This is the key. Once you understand who you are, both the good and the bad, you'll draw in all everything that you want, everything that you need to move forward. And I understand now, and it's very clear, there are a lot of people that are stuck, and they don't know why they're stuck. So this is what this video is about. It's about helping you understand, start working with your intuition, your intuition, and interpreting what people are saying and what they're really doing and what their motivations are. And once you understand that, you'll start seeing people a little bit differently, and you'll be like, oh my God, Tony's like Derek and Derek's like Bob, and they all kind of like behave the same. And it's just like drama or control dramas, and they just move between the different ones: victim, aloof, interrogation, and intimidation. And once you cotton onto this, you can just be like, oh my God, this is not for me, and you can step out of it. And if you hold that, you'll meet like-minded people. And that's the hard part, because you've spent 20 years with so-called friends, and all of a sudden you're bored shitless because you're just going around in circles, because no one's got the courage to step outside the circle and be themselves. So you all cling together like a bunch of pussies, all fucking talking about everyone else's drama and their family and their problems. That's really boring shit, man, like for real. Yeah, so work on your intuition, understand what control dramas are, discern them, love yourself a bit more, and work on being free. That's all for now.